check it out. I'm working out on this new Satellite reissue. This is probably this is the second guitar I ever designed, and maybe the fourth guitar I ever made. Well, not this particular one. This is the reissue. Now, it's pretty close to the original, and I'm going to show you the original right now. I've had it all these years. This is the prototype right here. Right, pretty close, right? So when I first started making guitars, I decided to make like a Jazzmaster type shaped guitar because, you know, Teisco, Hagstrom, you know, Kent, they all made them. They all made an offset, right? And back in like '92 when I was doing this, it was hard to find a cool Jazzmaster type guitar, you know? They really weren't making them. So I designed one of my own, and I made them out of, you know, maple. It was like a thin piece of maple for the body, thin piece of maple for the neck. You can see the neck went right through the body, right? Where's that? You can see, you kind of see it through the paint. I'm not getting it at all. Yeah, there it is. So these were neck through. I didn't have to worry about a neck pocket when I did it because everything went straight through. Lumberyard wood. I think the rosewood fretboard came from a folk music store. You know, so this piece of maple was, well, this is the back of the maple here, and this is the front of the maple here, and that, as much as I cut off here to make this thickness, is how much string angle there was. That's just how I did it. I didn't know what else to do. This is the fourth guitar I'm learning as I'm doing it, right? It's got a threaded rod from Home Depot going down the middle for a truss rod. You know, years later, I never had to adjust this neck. It just stayed straight. But it's got a truss rod if I need it, right? It's so strange how if you make a guitar sometimes, you may never have to adjust the truss rod. It's got a crazy volute. The volute is so wild that it goes around the tuner, right? I mean, this is me carving things by hand. I don't even know if I had a router table at the time. I think I cut the stuff out on a scroll saw and then used a rasp to create the, you know, the round over. Handmade tremolo system, Radio Shack parts. Now, I sent this to Korea. This was the first guitar I wanted them to make for me in 1999 or 98, and they said, no, that is far too complicated. We're not even going to try. You simplify that design and we'll make it. That's how I simplified it. I made the 4-pickup guitar, switches, bolt-on neck, 25.5-inch scale. Those guitars are 24-inch. Now, years later, I said, this is great. Actually, the 4-pickup was a great design. People love it. But the Satellite, I always wanted to come back to it. I found a factory to make it. Look, they did the inlay. The other factory didn't want to do the inlay. They did the wild pick guards, multiple pick guards, right? Pretty amazing, right? And that's the stuff the other factory balked at. Strange switches. They saw that stuff and they wanted to make a Stratocaster. They were like, will you please take this away from us and send us a regular pick guard guitar with regular inlay? Well, okay, now I have a factory that did it for me, and it's just awesome. Now, I do the headstock myself because, you know, the original Korean factory would do pearl headstocks, but I don't know, I didn't really love the way they did it. I like this better. It's got the trim going around it, and you know, I can control the fancy details better. You know, they sent me all this mirrored stuff, but they didn't bevel any of it. So now I'm beveling and shining up the edges, and look how awesome that looks, you know? Shiny edge, beveled pick guards. So I had to take everything apart. I still have to change stuff. This particular guitar, I made this, and I made this so they would all match. So then you get a full piece. Now I can make this guitar without the fancy tailpiece and without the headstock, and that is a cheaper instrument, but you still get the inlay, and you still get a great pearl pickguard and all the mirrored stuff. So this guitar here is $2,300. I could probably do it for under $2,000 if you don't want the headstock and you don't need the tailpiece. And that's fine too, because I did make them kind of that way back in the old days. I got number 8 here. Someone ordered. This is the handmade guitar, and look, standard tremolo looks pretty cool, right? Once again, I was still making them thin, and you know, with the same weirdness on the headstock. No volute on this one though. So yeah, it's still pretty cool with a Jazzmaster tremolo, so I can do it that way. A green headstock, maybe not as good as that, but that's, you know, if you want to save money, I'll do a simple version, and it's still pretty awesome. All right, there you go. So let's play this thing a little more here. Let's see it right-handed, right? I mean, that's pretty cool, right? Not so right-handed, but you get the idea. So this has a handmade tremolo bar too, and you know, a regular old Jazzmaster bar fits in here as well. If you're not down with the wildness, you just put your Jazzmaster tremolo bar in. But this is the original look and design that I still do. I bend these by hand and make sure that they fit properly, and it gets back to the original look, right? Awesome. Cool looking, right? Radio Shack parts, I can still find them. This here is a stutter switch, right? So let's try it. So that's both pickups. Let's try a bridge pickup. Neck pickup. Cool sound, right? Let's try this thing with some gain. Both pickups are quiet, right? Hum canceling. And I actually flip the coils so that can happen. These are not sent to me hum canceling. I make them hum canceling. All right, so now here's some gain, right? Let's try the bridge pickup. Now you're going to hear the 60 cycle hum because of the gain. Yeah, that's there. But how about cutting a little bit with the tone so you can get a little more of a humbucker sound, right? I'm not going to go all the way with the tone. So now you're simulating the darker humbucker. And you're also cutting some of that buzz too. Let's try the neck pickup. So if you're careful, you can just like cut the hum out by hitting one of the switches. So you know you're back to a quiet sound between songs or between parts. Tremolo staying tuned nicely, right? So there you go, the Satellite reissue. Fancy headstock, fancy badge. Inlay, awesome. The color, did they not match that color exactly? I mean, come on, that's amazing, right? This was a can from Home Depot. This was a can of spray paint from Home Depot. Forest green or something like that, right? I guess they still make it because it's almost the exact color. Amazing that it's back. Now here's another thing. If the single coil sound is a little too bright for you, I can do the original. These originals did not have single coils. These originals had EMG Select pickups in them. And an EMG Select pickup is just a hot rail. I know that because I broke one open one time, and it's just like a Seymour Duncan hot rail inside there. So if you want the darker sound, I got a bunch of these old pickups. I think they're discontinued. So I can make you the darker humbucker version, or maybe how about a humbucker here and single there. Now they look just like the single coil looks just like the humbucker, so you won't be able to tell by looking at them, but one will be dark and one will be bright. These pickups are not splittable, so we're not going to be splitting the coils. They're epoxy tight, and you can't get in there to split it. So, if you're more of a humbucker type player, we can put one or both in. I do like the brightness of this guitar here. It's got that Stratty thing, right? So there you go. I think this might be one of the coolest, weirdest guitars available right now. And for $2,300 with the fancy hardshell case, all signed and dated on the inside too. We only made 8 of these reissues so far. I got 4 in this dark green, and I have 4 in like a light blue with the gold pearl as well. So there you go. Satellite reissue back. Can't believe it myself. It's amazing all these years later. All right, thank you.